can be developed through hard work, good strategies, persistence, dedication, and input from others. Where focus goes, energy flows. So focus your energy on continuous learning and stop wasting time thinking about looking smart. Build resistance, build vulnerability, build courageousness, and face adversity with a smile. Become comfortable with uncomfortable. You know, the only person that you need to prove anything to is you. Imperfect action trumps perfect inaction. Stop wasting time and get on with it. Failure is part of learning, so start learning by taking action.
Kristian Lavolsi, welcome to the hot seat. It's Wednesday. How are you going?
I'm fabulous, Simone. I'm really enjoying the new role reversal here that I'm running. I'm running the studio, and I've got a 5-minute crash course on Ecamm, and we're trialing something different to see if we can resolve some of the challenges. I just got informed that it's not recording on my hard drive, so I better record on the other channels. But yes, no, it's all really good and very exciting. It's rather wonderful.
Yeah, and just thank you to our listeners who have been patiently waiting for our troubleshooting over the last couple of weeks with Ecamm. We think we have resolved the issue, which perhaps was my internet and my children on too many devices.
Yeah. So no, we're all good to go, aren't we?
This is going to be fun. I don't know if I like it this way.
I'm playing with so many buttons.
Now, look, this week we're talking all about. Who knows where the next 15 minutes is going to go? Seriously. Oh, no. All right, let's get into this. It is Wednesday. It's the hot seat. We're talking everything business life. And we're going to be talking all about knowing your numbers this week. Now, we're getting closer to the end of financial year. It is true. Tax time is coming around. We are getting close to our retreat, our annual retreat with our Mastermind Evolve clients and actually some of our other clients as well. And we're really dedicating some time to talk all about financials because we know how important this is in business and how much that, you know, sometimes we don't pay attention to what we really need to in these circumstances as well. So let's get this conversation underway today. This has come from a poll that we run on your LinkedIn profile, and we asked our followers and our audiences, how do you consider yourself financially literate when it comes to business decisions? And 62% of people said that they could know more. 3% of people said that they were completely blind, and 33% of people said that numbers were their thing. So they were totally all over it. So my first question for you today, Kristian, is as a business owner, what are the most important financial reports to understand?
Look, that's pretty straightforward. Cash flow statement, balance sheet, and P&L, and probably handy to know a couple of ratios as well. Obviously, it depends where you are in your business cycle. The challenge that I have is that I have such a diverse range of clients, from startups all the way through to almighty elephants that, you know, turn over, that was the mic that just went, that turn over, 30, $40 million. So it's, but nothing's more true than saying to people, the most important, absolutely the most important, is the cash flow statement. Because P&L is just a line item, and a balance sheet the same. What really makes a business thrive is cash, and cash in the bank is the main reason that most businesses actually close. So a lot of people don't even realize that. Out of the 50-60% of businesses that close each year, most of them were profitable. They ran out of cash. And I bet you anything, if we looked at it, they weren't looking at their cash flow statements. They were relying on their P&L and thinking, oh, look at that. Let's go out for dinner tonight. We just made, X, Y, Z, when really they were depleting cash reserves on a regular basis.
Yeah, and a lot of things that I've seen through my realms of coaching clients in financial areas is that it's almost like people, I guess it's rose-colored glasses, you might say, that it's easier just to say, "Oh no, my bookkeeper looks after that," or "My accountant looks after that," and they really don't take any accountability for what's happening in those really important statements.
So hang on. Did you just say the accountants don't take any responsibility or accountability, or the clients don't? Um,
Well,
sorry,
I'm
that's me
saying the
having.
clients. I'm saying the business owners are pushing the accountability over to accountants and bookkeepers rather than taking any responsibility for
Yeah.
understanding and knowing the numbers as well.
And here's the message, the strong message from me. I have a lot of friends that are accountants, but I wouldn't go to an accountant for business advice, right?
Mm,
And all my mates know it, and I know that initially they first took offence to that statement, but there are not, accountants are not business advisors, and yet they promote themselves as business advisors. They're great at structures and tax and those things, and they are what they define as business advice. But
mhm.
there, a lot of them are very risk averse, and and don't have any risk appetite, and are very much by the book. And business isn't by the book. The
Mm,
business is not all sunshines and rainbows. And
yeah,
they're in most accountants in a very fortunate position. It's a service based fee structure. Some charge retainers. They've got constant money coming in. They don't have
yeah,
the same pressures. And just because they're doing the numbers for a firm doesn't actually mean they understand how that business operates. In fact, most of the time they don't know. So if you got a great accountant, get them involved in your business. Ask them to come and have a look at your business. Right?
yeah.
Most of them don't even walk into people's businesses. I find it just, it's one thing that I just don't understand.
Yeah, it is quite mind blowing. All right, let's move on to question two. And this is probably another quick question to answer, but I'm sure we'll digress into some more information. But how often should you be reviewing these financial statements that you're talking about before, the most important three? How often would you be looking at them?
Well, I look at the cash at bank every day, right?
Hmm.
I've got lots of companies like my own, and I also have access to every one of my one-on-one clients. I have access to their Zero or MyOb. I make it a habit of going in every month into looking at their balance sheet and looking at their P&L. But
Hmm.
I teach my clients to look at their cash flow statement on a weekly basis,
Hmm.
but cash at bank, inflows and outflows, memorization techniques every single day. So technology has made it really easy because we've got apps. So I intentionally bank with one bank. Um, maybe not the greatest idea, but I am with one bank, and I can have all 12 bank accounts open on there, and they're mine, and I know what's going in and what's going out. And I mean, it does help when you've got a sharp memory, but memory can be taught. Okay, Jim Quick says that. So when you do something over and over again, you become acutely aware. I mean, even our finance manager, she'll admit, I know the numbers of the business, all the business better than she does, and that's what she does all day long. And I can spot, like we had just out of nowhere some credit card fraud, but my credit card, no one seems to know how they got it, and it was one of the
Hmm.
companies. And I saw it, and it came over the weekend, and I was getting phishing emails at the same time, and I was like, oh, I didn't click on anything, and I reckon it might have been someone else in the company that clicked on something, got
Hmm.
access to the card, and because I check everything every day, I got onto it quickly. By the time the second and third amount had already come out, bank had been notified. These guys had copped a hard fraud alert, and all the money stayed in the account. So there are other benefits from managing your inflows and your outflows on a daily basis, and this is no matter whether you're at startup or whether you are at scale up or in growth phase.
Mm, yeah. And so just to clarify, that was daily on your cash flow and weekly in your cash flow statements.
Yeah,
And what about your P&L and
monthly,
your balance
monthly.
monthly, those
Yeah.
ones as well? Yeah, awesome. I think that's a really great habit to get into, isn't it? It's all about just setting up that routine and doing it on repetition and being aware of what's happening. Congratulations. All right, my last question that I have for you today, Christian. Question three. All right. So, what should you do if you don't really understand your numbers? Where do you start? Because I guess as a business owner, we're all quite proud of where we are and what we've accomplished. What do you do if you really just don't get it? Where do you go?
Well, I
What
mean,
do
your
you?
first point of call is, you've got an accountant. Go and have a chat to them. Like that. This is actually what they are really good at.
Mm,
Now, they're not always really good at explaining it. Okay, but this is what accountants go and do. What is it? 3 years, 4 years with honors at uni, and when they're doing commerce, is to prepare these statements. So
mm,
whether it's the financial statement, the cash flow, whether it's the cash flow statement, the P&L, or the balance sheet, this is their jam, right? So it's really important that you go to them and you ask them, to give you a high level idea. The other thing is go and see business advisors, like advisory firms like ours. We're holding our retreat, and we're doing a 3 hour deep dive on how to read financial statements, and also a whole bunch of cash flow suggestions on how to drive cash flow, how to increase cash flow, and how to make sure that you're looking at your inflows and outflows. And we do that. This is the first time we've done it for in this 12-month cycle, and we know it's going to be a resounding success. And these are even clients that actually know how to do it, but it's about having a refresher. Some people go, well, Kristian, you see numbers all the time. I said, yeah, well, I'm chairman of 5 independent companies that are not mine, and and I also sit on 2 other boards. So I'm looking at financial statements all the time, and even I struggle.
mm,
Like, it's not, like, I get it, I know how to do it, but when you're looking at so many different ones that are structured differently, it changes. So, I carry a cheat book with me that gives me, the calculations of things that I need to know, and I have certain KPIs that I look for, particularly in the board roles, the chair roles, because obviously I've got a fiduciary responsibility around the numbers, and as a chairman, I sign off on a report that everything is true and correct. So I take that
mm,
responsibility very seriously. So, Simone, yeah, look, I'd be going to my accountant absolutely first, and then business advisors, and here's another point. It sounds like I'm just shitting on everyone, but I kind of am, because I'm a bit fed up with this stuff. There are so many bad people out there giving advice, and poor business
mm,
owners are getting caught up in the marketing hype, right? I urge you, if you're listening and you want to be part of something bigger and more meaningful, is you need to get your head around, right? How to pick the right people, and ask
mm.
them, test them, get them to to speak about this. I mean, we openly come on a show that goes live, right, to thousands of people, and we give the information away, right? That should
Yeah.
instantly be like, hey, shit, this person knows what they're doing. When you're ready, then pick up the phone and call you and have a chat with you, and see if one of our programs is a good fit for them. Unfortunately, if you're trying to get me one on one, I'm pretty sure now it's blown out to 9 months. So,
Yeah.
and I'm blessed and I'm grateful for the opportunities that we have. So, keep it coming. Don't ever stop. It's like when I owned
Yeah.
restaurants that were, right at the top of their game. People just stopped coming because they couldn't get in. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Keep knocking on my door. And if you're persistent enough, we'll make time.
I know. It's one of those things, is that your one-on-one clients actually don't leave. So there are no spots that really open up in your schedule. Just somehow you seem to find more time, which we are always in awe of.
Well, my wife has made a point now that there is no more time. So she's made it very clear that me getting home, leaving early. Well, I work from home from about 4:30 in the morning now. First calls are at 5. Then I take the kids to
Yeah.
school, and so then it's the key's getting home. So Tracy's been doing a lot more picking up of my children in the afternoon because that's the slot that has been filled, and I don't feel comfortable with that. So and then I've been stretching it, getting home at 7. Then I travel tomorrow morning. I'm on the red eye, and I'm away for 2 days working in Melbourne in our office there. So look, there is. I know everyone can be in awe of how I find time, but I think the universe also provides that time. There's a client that I'm really excited about starting to work with. They're in the organics food business, and they've been patiently waiting for 4 months. And they've asked all the right questions along the way, and there's just beautiful people, like, proper farmers. Like, it's just, and I'm pumped. It is just something that I've wanted to do, really build out a massive e-commerce business for them. I just love it. And so I love getting my hands into something I've never done before. And growing vegetables is not my forte, but I've certainly been doing a lot of reading. So we get going next week. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So yeah.
That's really exciting. And obviously you are down in Melbourne. We have an office down there, but you're running the Customers on Demand event again, our free event we've been running for this part of the year. We've got, the last one we have planned for a little while, actually. So if you're in Melbourne, definitely jump down tomorrow night in Collingwood. Come and join the event. And Brisbane the week after, Thursday week, you're in Brisbane doing the Customers on
2 weeks.
2 weeks, is it?
Yeah, Brisbane is it on the 7th and 8th? 7th?
Yes.
Yeah. So and that's the first time we've gone to Brisbane. We've got a few clients in Brisbane, and that's why they were like, Kristian, why don't you come up here? I'm like, oh, I don't know, another trip. But sadly, we are going to wrap up the series. We've already got, I think it's 40 odd people in the program. We're aiming to do 1,000 students by the end of the year, and we'll get to that number. But we're going to go virtual, so we're going to go virtual out of Melbourne, and we'll likely focus our event schedule on Melbourne. We have a lot of clients in Melbourne. It's funny, Simone. We've got predominantly it was all Adelaide based, a couple of internationals, and then we brought you along and all of a sudden we've got clients. Melbourne is effectively now our biggest market, and then Sydney. Adelaide's still big because a lot of my one-on-one clients here, but I now have a lot of international one-on-one clients, which is proving the next challenge of travel. So,
absolutely. A lot of people have been asking for Customers on Demand to be a virtual event. So, we're not going to just jump on Zoom and film it. We're going to spend some time really optimizing a great event for people to still attend into that regard. So we're looking forward to bringing that to everyone in our audience over the next couple of weeks or months.
Give me a month. All right. So there's a lot going on in June. And then July, obviously, I'm in the Philippines in our office over there for a week. So, it's kind of crazy at the moment, and it's great fun, and I love it. But yeah, look, Customers on Demand has really lived up to the 3-year journey of what I wanted to put together to really help those people that are struggling, that are stuck, and that need to generate more leads and want to do so on demand. But the biggest feedback we've had is that shit's all well and good. It's the front end 5 modules that people are loving, aren't they? They're really cutting their teeth in it. They're really thinking deeply. We've got people that go over those modules 2-3 times, and that's 5 weeks worth of work, like just on those. And we're changing people's lives, and most people, in fact, have not just doubled but 5x'd already their investment in less than 12 weeks, and now are part of our mastermind alumni program that we've built in the back end of it. So, there's a lot of and I get excited because it's truly something I've always wanted to do and never could get my head around. And Adrian and I have really, and the team have really put together something that has really lived up to the expectation, and we're about to make it better. So it's such a wonderful opportunity. And the Customers on Demand Roadshow, the feedback that we've had now from Sydney, Wollongong, Melbourne, Adelaide is like, how the hell do you guys give this away for free? And the reality of it is we want to empower people to make money, right? Like that's the thing, right? I want to be able to empower you to build your online presence and make money, because when you've made enough of it, you can come into our programs. And I think that people don't understand that. Too many people want to take your money. They just want to grab it and they say, you pay me and I'll give you something. No, I'll give you something, right? Okay? And then if you feel compelled enough, come and join me and I'll give you more. And then when you've made more, right, then I'll give you something else that you can spend money on that's going to give you more. And that's why, you made the point, my one-on-one clients don't leave, because I'm always making them way more money than I get paid. And that actually pisses me off. I think we've gotten to the point, I had a chat to some of my clients this week. I'm like, guys, I'm getting pissed off. You're making 7 figures. And when I started with you, you weren't making anything, right? So it's come a time that, those extra bonuses have got to roll in, right? And, I
shouldn't
say...
be fee for service anymore. You'll have to take a percentage of.
Well, my new clients, we do. So there's a success fee, as you know. But these are my old clients that have been with me, and I value them. And one of them turned around and said, that's okay. What do you want? Well, I said, 15% net profit. I'd be happy with that, of the profit. Sure. Right? Because it's like every time I say, look, I don't want to do this anymore, we're done. And they go, no, we'll fill it up with someone else. It's like, no, I want the hour back. Like, you don't need to have me for that hour. And that's what you were making the point for. And look, one of our clients has been away for 3 weeks, and they're the CFO of the business as well. And, we've got a board meeting. And the first thing they said to me the other day was, when they landed, she goes, I really missed you. And I was like, that's freaking awesome. Like, I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing in this world, and people appreciate me. And, feedback that you gave me on a client call that we did yesterday together. Like you said, it was the masterclass, right? On how I seem to know everything, right? But the reality is it's experience. And now I truly understand when I was a young consultant and people used to look at me and go, you don't have the answers. And I used to think, bullshit, I have the answers. No way. I now look at what I know and what I can solve. And it is, it is amazing. And, like the crowd does. So look, we've been
Absolutely.
on this for way
Kristian
too long.
I know your schedule is so packed, and
well, I've got a call in 7 minutes, so I've got to go.
And Leonardo, they want to see you sometime tonight, so I'm going to wrap up this call. Thank you very much for your time, as always. We hope to see anyone who's in Melbourne tomorrow night down to join us for Customers on Demand. That would be amazing. And we will definitely share the links into the comments here too, so anyone can register for Brisbane coming up in 2 weeks. All right, Kristian, let's wrap it up. You're pulling the final triggers on the screen. I'm pulling the shots.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your outro. Until next time, live with purpose.
Working with Kristian is a game changer. Hi, I'm Adrian Lee from GrowthLink Coaching and Consulting. I started working with Kristian in August 2020 as his LinkedIn growth consultant. We worked together on his LinkedIn brand for about 12 months before becoming business partners in Growth Outsourced late 2021. Kristian is a hidden genius. He helped me break through a significant financial target by restructuring my growth consulting online business offer. I don't know of any one person who can give you so much focus, clarity, and structure to live your purpose and get shit done. He holds you accountable to your words and gives you the tough love when you need it. I love his no BS approach to business and life. Everyone needs a Kristian Lavolsi in their life. Do whatever you have to work with Kristian. This is just the beginning for us, and I am super pumped to continue growing together. Thanks again, Kristian.